Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 81 of the SWW Show. It's me, AJ. Got Mike alongside me, as always.
Hello, welcome to our 90-degree saunas here in the Midwest. We have the type of weather here where like people walk outside and you like see sweat starting to form. It's kind of impressive right now, to be honest.
I mean, I don't even have to walk outside.
How many fans do you have running right now?
Well, I have my AC, my portable AC unit in my bedroom. The doors are closed so that it actually cools something. And then I've got a fan behind me, and that's it.
Okay.
I don't have any ceiling fans. There weren't any in here. Also, I don't know if the 130-year-old wiring could take it. So, and I mean, it's got the joys of something that was created, was built around the turn of the 20th century.
Yeah, you totally have the like historic thing of
outlets are in really weird places or like they're just thrown in there.
Do you have it as at least like somewhat climatey? Because like the nice part of a lot of old places are, as long as they were built correctly, they either can handle extreme weather or like some level have like stuff in them that makes it a little better.
Oh, dude, there ain't jack shit in this thing.
Well, I apologize. But yeah, it is the end of July. So, what time you're hearing this is August of 2025.
I mean, legit, like outside's, I think 80. Hold on, 90. It's probably in the low to mid 80s in my apartment.
You got like 3 more hours till the sun sets.
No, I've got 5 more hours until the sun sets.
And this has to be getting better, I assume, once you get to like the evening.
Let's see. Last night at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, it was still in the 80s. Tonight at 10, it's going to be 80. It'll get down to 71 at about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. There is some reprieve. We're starting, the temps, at least for the next few days from when we're recording this, are going to be down a little bit. So
same here. Like it actually is it's going to get objectively better.
So, and the nice part is like the nights are going to be cold. Like, I think, let's see, we're recording this on a Tuesday. Wednesday night is 61, Thursday's 56, Friday's 54.
It's getting...
Saturday's 57. Like, when it's clear, it's gonna start to get chilly again, which is nice. Because we need something to kill some of this heat. And also, like, we haven't had rain much at all this year. And like we've got like 30% chance in the next week on one day of there being any rain. So it's hot and we don't have anything to help. So like, there's a lot of dead grass in the area.
Mine is more alive than I feel like others, but no, it's the same year. I don't think we have had we've had like, my phase is like when we have rain, but it's like the county line. So it's like, oh, they have rain. And then it just stops.
I mean, I've been watching a few different storm chaser and weather channels on YouTube. Because I don't know if you've been paying attention at all, but dude, there have been some crazy storms in like the Dakotas and Minnesota.
Yeah, like we've had flood spots that are weird, storms. There's been a lot of weird stuff.
Like there were some pretty gnarly tornadoes in the Dakotas not too long ago. In fact, as we're recording this, it was the previous weekend. It's some pretty big ones. So yeah, the storms seem to die out before they reach Michigan, which we need all the help we can get. Detroit's getting rain, like the east side of the state's getting rain. But
That's like Chicago proper had some like insane rain too. So
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it is soon to be August. So little background here. So it doesn't matter because this is coming up Friday and this is Saturday. No one's gonna hear it by then. So we're doing my dad's surprise 65th birthday on Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
49 people. Do we think we only have 4 more days? It will actually stay a secret until then?
Are there any that you are worried about?
No, but it's enough people that like he deals with like work-wise. So that like we were shocked. There were multiple times that I know people who like have almost caught themselves in accident, like not thinking. But like it's just more of the volume of people we're talking and the amount he talks to enough of them.
I wouldn't worry until probably Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Because Thursday is usually when you start asking people about what they're doing for the weekend.
That's fair.
So
he 100% called me yesterday. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" I very much had to be like, nothing. I think it's like on the fly. But like, what am I doing this weekend?
I mean, is his birthday this weekend?
No, and that's what makes it where like we don't. It's like his birthday's a month out. That's where this kind of came from. Of like, it's actually
a month out.
Trying to find time before my nephew goes back to college.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's this thing of like, we agreed, probably not ideal, but
yeah,
there's just some realities of life in there mixed in. It makes the surprise aspect easier.
Why a month? Like a month out is you're borderline. You know, yeah. Like I think if you're any more than 3 weeks out from the person's actual birthday, you need to figure something out. Because it's like, I'm sorry, but if your birthday's in like October, early October, and you want to have a birthday party like Labor Day weekend, it's going to be a Labor Day party. It's not your birthday party. Right? Like, if you want, we'll get you a cake. But the party is not for you, right? Like, So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't worry until Thursday. But you're starting to kind of encroach on. I think once you pass 50. It's gonna leak no matter what. Right? Because, like, shit, you could have a group of 50, like, CIA agents.
Someone's telling someone something.
Somebody's telling somebody something.
Okay, right on that cusp. We're at 49 people.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll survive the 50 curse.
Yeah, hopefully.
We will find out. But yeah. So that's where my life has been chaos, and then wedding planning, as you imagine, type stuff's on this list comes from.
I mean, he's got to know like something's going on.
I don't think so. Here's what. So like the way they're going, they don't know they're going to a restaurant even. The neighbor who's like one of their good friends is going to basically the day before say, "Do you guys want to go to dinner?" Which is not unusual for them, and then do it from there.
Well, but I just mean, like, you're saying, oh, it's your nephew, like, going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got to know, like, maybe not for his birthday, but you would be doing something.
And that's much, but, like, he's there enough where I don't know if, being honest, that's probably on the top of his mind.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, your dad is very observant, I will tell you that.
That point's fair. So we will see.
I remember the first time I was over at your parents' house, he had to move my car, like first thing in the morning.
And that's like,
is your car turbocharged? Because I saw that there was a coolant light, and I'm like, no, it's just the thermostat light saying like, hey, It's it's a little chilly out.
You put him in a new car, the first thing he does is like inspect it top to
Yeah.
bottom. So
I mean, I do the same thing. Like, so I'm not
But yeah,
saying it's out of the ordinary, but it is definitely like
a feature.
I will say like that being said, because I'm somebody like him, if it's not in our periphery, you could throw like you could openly talk about it in front of me, and I'm not going to pay attention.
See, the part though I have to be careful is my mom likes to talk on speakerphone.
Oh, so do I. I talk on speakerphone all the time. Like,
But there are multiple times these last like few weeks I've been like, "Are you on speaker?" And she's like, "Oh no, I can't hear. Does this sound better?" Like typing.
yeah, I love talking on speakerphone because for me, I personally like I'm always doing something. So like, if I'm on the phone, I'm probably doing something at the same time. So I just throw it on speaker and continue what I'm doing, or I'll throw like an earbud in and do it that way. But I can't remember the last time I actually held my phone up to my ear to take a call.
I'm definitely still because I like walk into it or whatever. Or like I'm doing like dishes, it's totally fine. But I once in a while have AirPods in is probably what I'll do more so.
So anyway,
But yeah. Yeah. Let's kind of talk about the month now. We've had quite a few months here. Let's get started on stuff we've played. Anything new or exciting on the Death Stranding 2 on your front?
I rolled credits on Death Stranding 2. Took me about 40 hours, just under 40 hours, to complete it. I don't know if I'm gonna go back. There's one boss fight that's a achievement. That's a side thing that you can do. That may be the only reason that I go back is to do that. Other than that, I'm probably done with Death Stranding 2.
So where does it rank compared to the first one?
It's interesting because it's kind of a completely different game. Even though on the surface it looks basically the same. The first game relied much more on you. So, you, the player. There were like communal things that could be built and worked on, but when it came down to it, the game was basically go from point A to point B by yourself, figure it out, right? Like, community's not going to help you too much. It almost feels like they went and they got some feedback that people wanted more of the community aspect, and it feels like they took that dial and turned it to 11. So as soon as you bring an area online, there's like a million different things pop up. So it was much more reliant on the community aspect than the first game was. Which, it's funny because you can kind of track where people are in the story based on what's in an area. So, for example, like the first things that you can build with the level 1 constructor are like bridges. So you run into a ton of bridges. And then you start seeing roadways pop up. And then the monorail, and then zip lines, and then cargo cannons. And it's like it's constantly just whatever the new shiny toy is what's being built in the following areas. And the previous things almost get left by the wayside. So it's interesting to see how people play that game through what they're building. The story-wise, it's not as insane as the first one, but it's damn close. And for all of the negatives that I would have about it, which are a bunch of minor things, like there's not anything major that I'm like, oh, well, if it did this, then, it would be a 10 out of 10. This game would never be a 10 out of 10. The graphics of Death Stranding 2, I genuinely don't think I've seen a game look better than that. There are legitimately sequences of Death Stranding 2 where it looks like they just shot it on a camera and put it in the game. It is beyond photoreal. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it more? Because I know we were talking before of like some of the active stuff. Was there other stuff kind of that really stood out?
Funnily enough, it's not the actors that look amazing. It's the environments. When you get up into the mountains and you look towards the peaks and you see the snow and you see the boulders and you see kind of like, oh, that's potentially a pathway. It looks like you're just on the side of a mountain. When the sun is setting and it's reaching the that kind of golden hour, some of the shots are amazing. It's definitely a game that distance-wise looks really good, right? So like when you're looking at something super far away, it looks really good. But then also it's like you look at the ground and it's incredibly well textured, and it's, it's molding to, like, if the ground's soft, if it's raining, right? Like, it's got your footprints. It's got, you see water start to pool in your footprints when it's raining. Like, there's tons of stuff that just make the game look probably the best non-PC game I've ever seen.
Yeah, because you were PS5, so
was
that's an
base
interesting one.
PS5.
How much different would this be on?
I was base PS5, digital all digital PS5 on a 4K TV. I don't think it's the game. I actually think it's my TV has really weird issues with HDR, where it gets like a flicker. And that would definitely pull you out of kind of the photo reel, because everything would get kind of like dull for a second and then it would pop back into HDR. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's tough to talk about this game without talking about it at the end of the year and being like, this is why I believe Death Stranding 2 is game of the year.
I'm assuming it's at least there's a high chance it will be for you.
It's definitely top 5. You know, there's a few that, you know, based on how we've done it in previous years, there's a few that get disqualified that I would put up in, you know, like a top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
That makes absolute sense.
as of right now, it's top 5.
I'm in the middle of Kingdom Hearts 3 for some reason on my Steam Deck, so that's probably why you've been seeing Steam pop up on your end from my friends listening, going, "What the hell's he doing?" That's my guess.
No, I never ask that question when I see your name pop up.
I don't know. It was one of those that, like, I actually never beat it / played the DLC, so I just wanted to see if I could kind of fly through it a bit and then kind of play that stuff. So, Kingdom Hearts. It does play the best of them, but it's totally one of those that, like, if you do not like the others nor into the others, don't start on 3 by any goddamn reason, because you'd have exactly... I know what's going on, it's still confusing sometimes. It's definitely a problem with these games.
Does anybody really know what's going on with the Kingdom Hearts games?
So there's like a baseline where I think the story, like the top level story, isn't that convoluted. It's like when you start being like, this guy has like 3... Kingdom Hearts... Did you ever read in school Crime and Punishment?
Yeah.
Do you remember how, like, in Crime and Punishment, everyone has like 8 names?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
This is the Kingdom Hearts problem. Is there are multiple people who in different form have different identities, but they're the same person? But like they look different, they sound different, but they are the same guy.
That's the same thing in Death Stranding.
So,
like,
if that happened less...
That part doesn't affect me, because it's like, I've played Kojima games for the better part of 25 years. I know crazy shit like that, right? Like, that part doesn't deter me. So.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's Kingdom Hearts. It runs actually really well on my Steam Deck, which I'm impressed by, / like, doesn't kill its battery.
I mean, wasn't that a PS3 game?
No, Kingdom Hearts 3 was a PS4 game. Okay. 2017 or 18. Like, it's still modern enough where, like, the Steam Deck does kind of have its moments of not loving it, so that's what I'm kind of decently impressed by. Like, it's killing something like a % battery every, like, 20, 30 minutes. Like, it's really not killing it.
Nice.
So. And then the other game we have here, which I actually feel like this should be obvious to me, but it's not. What is GOT?
Oh, I finally rolled credits on Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay. I was staring at this going,
yeah.
The Game of Thrones.
No, I was 2 missions away, if that, from credits, and just never finished it for whatever reason.
When,
you know, the last time that I played it was who knows when, but yeah, for whatever reason, I just never went through and wrapped everything up. So, and this isn't like finish this before Yote comes out later this year, because they've already made it clear that the games don't really share anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that wasn't the reasoning behind it. I was just going through my PS5 and was like, oh, hey, I still have this installed. Let me see where I'm at. And then, yeah, I was 2 missions away, I think. Actually, I was 1, like, main mission away, because the other one was a side story. So.
And then you're ready for the sequel, this means.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nice. I
have 0 drive to play Yote. Like,
that's fair. Like, this is one of those that, like, I think Ghost of Tsushima is a very fun looking game, and it's kind of a fun game, but, like, I don't know if it's one of those, like, true powerhouses to me in that way.
I mean, like, my biggest thing is Ghosts of Tsushima Ghost. Actually, it's not pluralized. Um, like it didn't have all of these modes that they're coming, that they're saying, oh, hey, you can play through the game in Kurosawa mode, or you can play through it in, lo-fi beats to study to, like all these things that they're adding for Yote, which are like something people are going to turn on for an hour and then switch back to the regular. Tsushima never had that. It got the Kurosawa mode, I think, with its enhanced edition, or maybe the DLC.
Yeah, I know you're saying that. I don't remember which one either.
But yeah, I mean, like it's one of those games where when you are playing it, it's awesome. Right? You get in this kind of rhythm of the combat, you get in this kind of flow of how things work. And then you step away from it for a month or 6 months or a year. And you get back into it and you're like, what do I do again? Because the control scheme is not intuitive.
Oh.
So
yeah, no, that is entirely accurate. Yeah. As games we've been playing, let's jump into some films. Let's see. So I was going to shout out because I saw 2 old films this month here. So I just want to shout out first being Seven, an obvious classic that Christine never seen, so that's why I started watching it.
nice.
So that film is just like, and what's really fun when you're like, because I forget what that film's kind of like if you know nothing about it. Well, like during it, like it's very much like what is like you like there are the questions that are like leading you in the wrong way. Like Seven's just one of those films. If you've not seen Seven, just go see it. Like it's a beautiful like analogy, the way it's filmed. Like
Yeah,
it's Fincher's first major hit.
Everybody knows the twist of Seven.
Right.
Because that scene has been memed to death. What they don't know is the nearly 2 hours of film before that.
That lead you to that moment.
That lead you to...
When you realize actually the answer to the question, like if you just see the scene without really processing like the lead up to it, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Because it really puts you in that mindset of, oh, like, he absolutely should kill Kevin Spacey there in the desert. Like, but if he does that, it's not a spoiler because it's in that clip that everybody posts. He says he'll win. And it's this... Actually, I didn't put it on here, but I watched the Batman again. And it is this...
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's literally the same conversation of like, look, if you do this, you are no better than him. If you kill this guy, you put yourself on a path that you can never recover from. And they will have won. And it's the same message in Batman, right? Where like he literally, Bat Pat puts his hand, which I love when movies do this of like, oh, the good guy grabs the top of the gun, the slide of the gun, and it won't work. It's not how any of it works. You pull the trigger, it's still going to go boom. You only get one shot off, but whatever. And, so it's just like, part of me wants to believe, right, that like the message that the filmmaker has in mind with that thought process of like, there's still good in this world and you can be part of it, is part of that like them knowing the darkness of Hollywood. right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, Kevin Spacey was always a weird dude, but I don't think there were a bunch of allegations about him the way that it ended up being. But like, it was a pretty open secret that like Harvey Weinstein was a creep. Like,
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein is not a shocking one to people.
Yeah. So it does make you wonder if like some of these movies, obviously the Batman thing, that's his character, so it's not related to that. But did they put that in Seven as like there's still innocence in this industry if you know what to do? Yeah.
Yeah, Seven, beautiful. And the other one I wanted to shout out that I don't know of, I've 90% sure I've seen this film in entirety before, but like I don't know last time. We watched the original Naked Gun. So the Leslie Nielsen, the one that spun off from the TV show, the whole thing. That film is still funny as fuck, which impresses me.
Oh,
Like,
you
it's very
gotta
much
watch the Police Squad movies too.
like it's one of those like it's that era of comedy. I'm like, how is this actually gonna hold up? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah,
like
you gotta watch the 3 Naked Gun movies. You gotta watch. There's like 6 Police Squad movies.
like it's shocking to me how like because like Airplane I enjoy, but like it definitely doesn't hold up as well. Like it's funny. Like I was a little
No, I
concerned. They're
believe
like,
so. It definitely holds up.
I think it's a little more punny than like I think comedy today tends to be.
Well,
I think it's
have
where
to
you start
remember,
seeing that stuff.
there's so much in modern comedies, especially comedy movies. Oh, I also forgot to put Happy Gilmore too. Speaking of modern comedies, that reference the Naked Gun, Police Squad, Airplane era.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like but it's one of those where like you see the thing everything's inspired by, and you go maybe the things after like sometimes are better. And I think that sometimes I think those things are getting to that age where it starts becoming true.
Oh, definitely. Like, they're not good movies, but you know the movies that reference them are much better usually. But it's still fun to understand what those movies meant when they're referencing certain things.
No, absolutely. And it says here, we'll talk about this in Happy Gilmore, but it says here you have seen, I'm assuming this is the new Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the full title was.
Is it still Fantastic Four First Steps?
Sure.
Okay, that's what it is. Fantastic Four First Steps. What did you think of the most recent of the MCU?
Kind of boring.
Really? Go on.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was funny that they turned the Thing into a chef, considering who's playing it.
I was saying that I think that's been in the trailers a bit of that.
God, I want to say his name right. It's the guy from The Bear.
Yeah, no, Eben Moss, that guy.
Yeah, is it Eben?
It's Eben, right?
Ebon? However you say his name. Moss Bachrock? However you say his last name. It does not. He doesn't have a pronunciation guide, which is kind of. But he doesn't. Also, it says he's 6'1". I know Jeremy Allen White's small, but that just puts into perspective how small Hollywood is, because Ebon looks like he towers over people on this press tour. Doesn't have a pronunciation guide on IMDb, but he was Richie on The Bear, and I just love that they made the Thing a foodie because of that.
That is it. And to be fair, it's one of those you're like, we have an actor with a skill, use the skill.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. um, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards is kind of a nothing burger. Vanessa Kirby is just, in my mind, not a super great actress.
I never loved her, I don't think.
I mean, like, okay, I'll put it this way. Like, mediocre usually gives off a bad connotation.
Yeah.
But she's mediocre in the sense that, like, if I see Vanessa Kirby in something, she's almost never making it way better, but also she's never hurting it.
Napoleon, I don't know if she did amazing.
I still haven't seen that. Thank God.
Yeah, you really don't need to. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those that, like, we have whatever that old Napoleon film is from, like, the 70s. I would use that. It's just as long and somehow more interesting. Yeah, so Fantastic Four is less your stuff. What about the other one you just said that you've seen in Happy Gilmore 2?
God, you want to talk about a movie that just feels like it didn't need to exist?
I'm seeing like a bits of it, or like I'm seeing like the interviews with the actors, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I gotta hold the other films, and I see how old some of these people are.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Like, you know, the original was definitely a better movie. The second one just feels like they had to make a movie that referenced the first one every chance it got.
And that's when you do these type of sequels, though. Like, I don't know how you do, like, that's why with like inherently I think comedy sequels that like don't make sense as a sequel or don't need a sequel. It's like, especially a bit sequel. How do you not just do the bits again? Like, that's the part where we point to like the first two, like the Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, as like very good movies because like sure the second one has to reference the first one, but like they found new bits, they found new things. Like, it's not just a like let's do it again. Where I very much don't know with Adam Sandler movies how you don't just do that.
Yeah, I think with Happy Gilmore 1, you know, a lot of the people in that movie were just actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't known quantities, so it didn't really take you out of it. Literally everybody in this movie is somebody you know.
Yeah, I've been noticing that.
It's like, I didn't need, you know, okay, I'll pull up the cast, but it's like, you know, I didn't need to see, you know, Bad Bunny. I didn't need to see Haley Joe Osment. I didn't need, you know, like, shit, I could go down this entire list of like, you know, I didn't need to see these guys. Like, you know, Eric Andre, Martin Hurley. Well, I think that Martin is the co-writer's son. And Margaret Qualley are like a threesome that Happy Gilmore it's his first round playing. And it's like, okay, like they're all known actors, right? So it's like you can't separate as easily. And then it's like, you know, oh, the clubhouse attendant is, what's her name? She's a WNBA player. And
Is it Caitlin?
no, it's Kelsey Plum.
Hmm.
And then it's like, you're not going to know her name, but Paige Sporonic, who's a big golf influencer, is like working at Dick's Sporting Goods. Literally everybody in this movie is somebody. You're like, dude, let's, you know, we don't need everybody, basically. I didn't need. I think if he kept it his normal crew, right? So Nick Swardson, like Steve Buscemi, like the guys that he normally makes movies with.
Mm-hmm.
If that's all it was, I'm totally fine. Obviously, you need Shooter, so Christopher McDonald you need to have back.
Right.
And John Daly, like, in theory, John Daly's really fun for a movie like this, but they do absolutely nothing with him in the movie. Speaking of people that they do nothing with, MJF is in this movie as one of Happy's kids.
Oh, Zach. Okay, so I knew he was in the film, but
Yeah. So is Philip Schneider, who is from Shameless. Right? No, sorry. Wrong one. He's got like 5 sons. One of his sons is in Shameless. I got his name now. Ethan Kutkowski, who's been in like fucking everything, it seems like. That's another one where like his three of Adam's family members are in this. And it's like, okay, they at least look like
your sons.
As daughters.
Yeah, they look like you. This makes sense.
They look like you. So it's like, okay, fine. We could have just kept it at that. And yeah. And the product placement in this is fucking ridiculous. It's so bad. But, I mean, if that's what it took to get the movie made, sure. Right? The problem I have with Happy Gilmore 2 is that movie should have been made 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, if this was made like even 2010, like you'd be like, okay, like it's that era of, or when the Netflix deal started, I feel like this would have been like the first thing they make.
Yeah, it's weird to have it now, but yeah. It's just, yeah.
It is what is on that note. But yeah, jumping into some news. Let's start with, I guess, with the sad one. We have a couple sad this week.
We have one sad one and one fucking final thing.
I think between the 3 deaths this month.
Yeah, I forgot that we had that one on there too. We have 2 sad ones and 1 good riddance.
We're gonna start with where I'm assuming the sads line, and I think we're gonna end with based on the order of operations here. So the 2 sad that we need to both shout out, right? So Michael Madsen, who's famous for like Reservoir Dogs and working with Tarantino and a few other films, obviously died at the age of 67 at the front end of the month. And then the other one that happened in the last like week here is the death of one of the most important people in modern music, especially like the rock metal scene, and the death of Ozzy Osbourne, which I gotta say, we talk about his legacy, he's great, all that. It is the most impressive ass shit to me that he got to do his final performance and then died. Like, it's very much like it was beautiful. It's this thing of like he got to do what he wanted and then it's the end.
I was watching clips from it because it was happening while I was driving back from Milwaukee. So I didn't get to see the show, but I was watching clips of it. And it was literally like, as he was performing Mama, I'm Coming Home, it was as if he was saying, I'm ready to die.
No, it was very like that ending is like a very much like like if he died on the spot, that'd have been like the thing of like, yeah, it's fine.
I fully expected him to go home that night and die in his sleep. right?
Like, could you imagine if it was like he died within hours of that show or something? Like, it'd have been like, but either way, like, he got to do the final thing, and the amount of artists that went out to do that show is actually very insane.
yeah, if you landed a ticket to that show,
You saw the greats.
you got to see the influence of Black Sabbath across decades.
Decades, like.
And I mean, like, legitimately, I would say Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath are the most influential act since 1900.
Because of how much they
At
changed
the
sound.
very least. I mean, legitimately started the genre of metal music.
No, 100, like, they are, like, it is wild to say how it's probably the only time I think we could point to, like, the genre like that, of that size, and I could point to a single person or band. Like,
Yeah.
you can't, like, rap and hip hop. I could point to movements and groups of people and, like, a couple of the time, but, like, it's not like a single person, like,
Yeah,
in the same way.
Right. The problem with rap and hip hop is like, okay, so you spin it from R&B, and then it's like, well, it's spoken word poetry over a beat. So then it's literally since the dawn of time. That's not the case with metal.
Right.
Like, Black Sabbath, Birmingham, England, like, metal music started in one spot, and it was them. There were a few acts that you could argue maybe before them that were approaching metal, but there was nobody like Sabbath when they came out.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, shit, look at the top 100, right? Look at the Hot 100 right now. I can almost guarantee you 2/3 of it would cite Ozzy Osbourne as some sort of influence.
It is interesting to me how many, like, pop artists and those, like you do get a lot of people citing Ozzy or something that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. Or it's like, Olivia Rodrigo is a really great example where she'll mention like some of her influences when she was younger. And then you look at them and it's like, oh yeah, we were inspired by Metallica. And then it's like Metallica, you go interview them and like, oh yeah, it was Ozzy. It's like, here's
and Metallica would be the one you'd think would be like the one, like, it's interesting you go like Metallica and they're like, no, it's them.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't really it's a controversial take because of what the take is, but when you actually look into it, it's not that controversial. Metallica really didn't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of commercialized metal.
No, and that's Metallica, because Metallica is the most successful metal band of all time, right?
It's them or Zepp. Or
sure, I guess I would
Sabbath, like, I mean, when you
like
look at
Sabbath, I think, but I would just assume because like Metallica's been around, like Metallica's like length of touring and stuff, I feel like is longer than.
I would say, yeah, if you're gonna go off of like, specifically like touring success,
And I would even like,
Metallica.
and I would assume Metallica has sold more records.
Yeah, I mean, inevitably they would, right? Like when you're talking about rate stats like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
that one genuinely was like, holy shit! Like, celebrity deaths don't usually affect me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, this one didn't either. But it was definitely a wake up call to that era, right? And I think the reason that we didn't really have that recently was so many of those deaths happened so early, right? Like, you know, how many members of the 27 Club were metal artists? And it's like, you look at that and it's like Ozzy made it. Ozzy survived somehow.
I think every day someone wins somehow.
And then it's like, you saw they did it his final show. And yeah, like I say, as I watched Mom, I'm Coming Home, it was as if he was telling the crowd, like,
This is it.
this is it, right? Like, he's going to go home to his wife and kids, and, you know, he's not long for this world, which, admittedly, like, I'm not going to say I was waiting for him to die.
But it did very much have that thing of, like, it's happening, right?
Yeah, but there was this, like, dude, like, Father Time is undefeated, and Ozzy gave him a damn good head start. And yeah.
No, that sounds absolutely beautiful. Jimmy, do we have two other film and TV things that need to be touch base here? The first, I actually want to shout out the second one first, just because I think it's funny. So, people who don't pay attention, we've talked about in the past how Warner Bros. Discovery is gonna be separate out into two different companies. One based on more content, and one works more in like infrastructure. And within that, we found out the names of the new companies. By the way, one of them was going to be called Warner Brothers, and the other, by the way, is going to be called Discovery. Nope. What was the point of this merger?
It was M&A season. It was cuffing season, and they.
This is to clarify, this is both the messiest and least messy divorce in history.
I mean, this isn't a divorce. This is literally like, hey, we're like, Warner came out of a messy divorce with the Disney buyout. And they're like, oh, well, we have to go on our own. Like, Warner was the lover scorned in the divorce and is like, oh, I'll show you. And like, their divorce took way too long. And they were just waiting. And finally they could marry Discovery, and they did. And they're like, I'm going to change my entire life. And then they saw that was just a shit show. And they're like, hey, Discovery, do you want to go back to saying like we're married but filing separate on our taxes? That's what this feels like, right? Where it's like they want the marriage as like a sign of protection or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want the baggage that comes with being married.
Mm-hmm.
Now, admittedly, I thought merging everything into one was a very bad idea. From the get-go. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind the merger. I guess the acquisition. I thought it was a way to save the Discovery brand, which
Was one of those brands that
at
was
least in
shocking
the
so
States
existent.
was definitely turning into reality TV slop and losing a lot of eyeballs. And for whatever reason, they kept Discovery Plus, right? Like, they didn't even merge their two streaming platforms together. But there's still a ton of Discovery content on HBO Max. But not everything. And you're like, good God, like, just put it into one and just let's get on with our day, right? So
No, absolutely. And then the final the final film too. And we just want to shout out, and it's not because I like Colbert, because actually I've never found him funny. I found Colbert Report, but I've never found like his late run show funny. But what's so Colbert? So the late show with Colbert, as people probably heard last week's, is canceled. Which to me, the bigger deal here is less the Colbert part of it. It's more the like, this is now the end of the Late Show, and it's the start of the actual collapse of late night TV. Of like we've been saying is happening, and it's wild.
I do even like, to me, that's not even what this is.
What do you think this is?
To me, this is CBS bending the knee to a tangerine retard that's in charge.
To be fair, though, like I do think those like they have reasonable argument though of been like we have been losing money on the show argument, and I think my guess probably didn't help. But
I mean, the thing of it is like late shows have never made money.
They definitely made more money in the past though, or like were worth it in some economic capacity. Like they would not like they didn't do this for fun.
I mean, they probably made some money, but it's like, okay, try to sell ads for something that's on at 11:30 at night.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern time, right? Like, those ad rates are going to be stupid low.
Well, like, there was a time, at least in this country, not last 10, 15 years even, where, like, those, if you look at those ratings, like, they were getting, like, 20 million a night, like, type numbers. Now, like, I think Colbert was the highest at, like, a 2.8 or, like, it was some number of, like, oh, like, these numbers are, like, comically lower than they used to be. Type of thing. And you could see it, too, of, like, the viewers are dropping like flies. Also, it's shocking me, though, like, in that context, though, I do think it's shocking when you heard the show had, like, that was the $100 million budget, or the hell it was, like, these shows, I thought on paper, should be, like, conceptually, like, be able to be lower budget, and then, like, some skits are higher, but, like, this doesn't feel like, to me, like, it should be as hard or expensive to run.
I mean, theoretically, a late night show is the cheapest show that you put on.
Right.
I would question CBS's finances behind that number, because if they're putting $100 million a year into that show, it doesn't show. Right? Like, are they saying, oh, well, you know, we have to charge X tens of thousands or, you know, $1 million a month for renting the studio space? Which, if they're going to get into that bullshit of charging themselves, then they just wanted a reason to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
and that's possible. I'm not discounting there's other things in the background possible. I'm just saying I do think there's at least some validity to these, like, you could see these numbers crashing as this is happening. Like, it probably was, like, a good cover moment, too, of being like, it's a good moment to do this.
I mean, I guess if they were truly losing $40 million a year, this show would have never been on air. Right. So why is it now, you know, at the time it was like a few days after Trump putting out, you know, oh, he's going to sue CBS.
I thought it was after the settlement. Oh, was that? Yeah.
Why, like, less than a week after Trump saying he's going to sue CBS for however many, like $1 billion or whatever his
whatever that number
of the minute was at that time, why was that the sudden, like, oh, hey, see, we've been in the whole $40 million on this show every year for the past 10 years. And you're like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this now why are you bringing this to our attention now, I guess?
Right, no, that's
the best way to ask that question. And to be honest, I think the day that Colbert goes off air, Jon Stewart walks out of his show.
But Stewart's on Central,
Yeah, but
right?
it's still the same company.
Oh, it is. You know, that's fair. I was actually not thinking it was some company in my head.
Like, he's not the guy. Like, Jon Stewart is not someone you fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we've seen with his 9/11 stuff that he lobbies for, the funding for the survivors
Mm-hmm.
and their medical bills, Colbert is not one to do that to either. Because lest the current president forget, Stephen Colbert ran a satirical news program for 10 years, making fun of the guys that he is buddies with. You are just giving this man the ultimate fodder. Also, he's got an end date now.
I know that part's true. But what's interesting to me is like, and I will stick with this. I think that Colbert, like the making fun, like the Colbert that was the gimmick on Colbert Report. I like that's the level of Stephen Colbert where I do think he's funny.
Yeah.
I do think that like it's funny because like you get to like his politics are the same. Don't functionally get me wrong there, like between that show and this. But like I think that like him satirizing it type like it's like Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, the reason we point to him as like a unique beast in like these talk shows is because the like we all know his politics, but like the way he does it, it's universally like at least there's a funny bit there where he understands. Like Stewart doesn't like walk around and be like, "What do you mean I'm political?" Like he knows when he's doing a thing. Well, I think the Colbert Night Show, he'd be like, do a thing and be like, "This isn't politics. This is just how it should be." Like it's like very much like you lost you were the satirical guy. Why'd you forget to be the satire guy?
I think they wanted to squash that character was part of the problem. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I watched the Colbert Anderson Cooper interview around when it came out. Which, if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. That's how I saw it. It is incredibly emotional, and it really opens your eyes to both of those guys as just people, as human beings. And knowing his history, like, part of me I'll acknowledge when he's wrong, but at a certain point, I'm like, he's trying to do the best with his life. Like, Stephen Colbert has had more than one excuse to, if he wanted to end his life, I think people would have been, yeah, you know what, that's kind of not the right response, but an understandable response.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the reasons why, like, I've got a bit of a deeper connection to him now is like that interview popped up on my feed again, like 2 weeks after we had lost my dad's mom, who was kind of the rock in our family. And I watched that again now, having that context that I had just gone through in the back of my mind watching this. And it's like, yeah, why are we tearing each other apart over stupid shit? Like, we were put on this planet for a reason, right? Like, if what I do makes people laugh from time to time, like, I guess that was my calling, right? And Colbert has found his calling and has somehow, you know, weathered all of the storms that have been thrown his way.
Yeah, that like there's some impressive stuff, and I think his career is an objective impressive feat.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like he was a spin-off show of the Daily Show, which at the time we started writing on it was not like a big thing, like in the way we think of it, like through the 2000s. Like he helped. It was like him and Steve Carell helped Jon Stewart make that show into like a legacy it is.
Well, yeah, it went
It's a
Carell,
wild story.
it went Carell and Colbert, and then it was Colbert and Oliver, and then it was Oliver and Trevor Noah, and it was like the writers that went through the Daily Show that have gone on to do incredible things is very impressive.
Mhm.
All that being said, I would not be surprised if Late Show with Stephen Colbert turns into the Colbert Report.
See, but I think it would have been a better show if you did that.
I mean, okay, CBS would never put a satirical
No, but like
late
you
night
could have. I
after
think,
late night show, but
he could have leaned into like understanding either the character or they're like not even the character, I guess per se. He could have like leaned into like the way he told bits and jokes. I think more like that though, without losing the satirical. Like I know it's the point everyone points to, but like it's really hard to be like here's Colbert in that show being like here's a good bit or kind of here's Colbert doing things, and then compare it to the Colbert who had to do the during the pandemic go get vaccinated bits. Like that is not the same. Like, and it could be producers, it could be him, whatever, but like those do not feel like the same guy writing jokes.
yeah, right. Well, also like they're writing jokes for two completely different audiences.
And that's fair, but like it just feels like to me like they're not even the same stinginess of a joke. Or like it doesn't feel like. Another thing you point to, like it is this thing of it was this type of show, and I just think also Colbert was a different type of comedian than these shows we used to. Colbert was the first time I think you put someone going in being like they're political.
Yeah, well, and also he's not really a stand-up, which I think is the other thing, right?
Yeah, that's fair. He's also that's why what his interviews notorious for like being bad in the beginning.
Yeah, his interviews were not good to start.
Because he went from interviewing like political type figures to like pure just random actors, and he did not have those skills like kind of lined up.
He didn't know how to. I think the problem was for 10 years, right? He was interviewing people as a farce of Bill O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you go from that to interviewing somebody in your own voice? Right, that was his struggle. I genuinely think that was the struggle.
I don't agree. I think that actually is a valid way to call that struggle.
Is like, how do you make that switch? Your brain just naturally wants to go into Colbert Report when you're doing an interview, which is not the way to interview somebody on the Late Show.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That is objectively true. But yeah, so we will see the end of that show and that empire over the next year here. But kind of jumping to some news after that. First, here's the one that I'm assuming was the horrible, the news that you were not as upset by. Hulk Hogan, obviously one of the most famous wrestlers in history,
and a massive piece of shit,
passed away this past week from heart attack.
Yep.
Whatever, something like that. Some natural causes. Like he passed away. He took steroids for reason in the 70s. So the thing I will say about Hogan, and not defending him person, is he's arguably one of the reasons, if not, we talk about like them like the metal reason being Black Sabbath. He's 100% a reason wrestling's a household. Like people know what wrestling is conceptually. Like he was the first one of those stars to kind of become the star.
No, Ric Flair was before him.
Was Ric Flair before him?
Yeah.
But Ric Flair, I guess I think because like Ric Flair was never the face of WWE.
Because he was the face of WCW.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing of too. So, but yeah, he has passed. We'll end it there. Jumping some trailers here. We had 4 this month that I just needed to be shouted out. In Mortal Kombat 2, Tron Ares.
What was the Johnny Cage movie?
The Senja, yeah.
that was, I was talking to some people at work and I was like, if they just keep the MK marketing up as this is a Johnny Cage movie, it's going to be hilarious because the people that know will get a kick out of it. The problem is, how do you sell Johnny Cage? Right? Like, how do you sell people that aren't MK nerds Mortal Kombat 2?
Mm-hmm.
And
I think
yeah.
And that was half.
Yeah. I will say, of the 4 trailers that you put up here, if you had put the Johnny Cage trailer, I think there would be 2 trailers of the 4 that I was interested in. The actual Mortal Kombat 2 trailer really didn't do anything for me.
No, I agree. Like it's funny. The Johnny Cage show is objectively the better trailer.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I expected either. So we'll see. It's also funny because I don't know if I knew the story enough for Johnny Cage for like him just being a guy with no powers though is a funny bit.
Well, so that's the problem is like MK2. Trying to think of when like a story mode would have come into play.
I think it's like 3 or 4. I don't even think it's that early.
It's 4 if I remember right.
That's what I thought it was. That's why I was like.
So it's like, you know, he's been in Mortal Kombat since at least the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Certain.
No, that's fine. I just don't know the story of all these guys enough.
MK1 like hybrid boards that had Johnny Cage on them. But yeah, he is like the everyman. He's just an action star,
which I really like. But yeah, yeah, so that comes out soon. We will kind of. I'm excited by that one. Running Man, I think, looks decent. So actually, I really like the Schwarzenegger Running Man. So
yeah, for this version of Running Man, with it being Edgar Wright,
mm-hmm.
I don't know what to expect.
That's actually. Are we getting like there's a couple ways you could run Edgar. This Running Man, I'm trying to think what it reminded me. It reminded me in a lot of ways the feel of the Glenn Powell like spy movie that came out last year.
Yeah.
Like it kind of that's the closest I feel like I was getting it. But again, it's just it being Edgar Wright is like, is that Edgar Wright? So we shall see. And then obviously Gen V, I'm excited about. Season 2 comes out in like a month and a half here, so exciting times. Jumping into some game news.
Over the big one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Tron Ares?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Are you actually excited by Tron Ares?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm a huge fan of Tron Legacy.
I did not know this about you, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Tron Legacy is genuinely one of my favorite movies.
That isn't honestly something I did not know.
It's partially down to that movie as a visual piece is so stunning and tells its story through like 4 colors. And it makes the story very easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the Star Wars thing, right? Where red is bad, blue and green are good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, you can show somebody Tron Legacy and they're going to have a great time. Why? Because it's an okay movie, but it's got one of the best soundtracks ever. And by all accounts, the soundtrack for Ares is going to be just as good. Obviously, different genres, but like that's Tron Legacy to me is like it's one of the perfect like full experiences. Right, story's okay. Story's probably the part that lets it down the most, but visuals, sound design, soundtrack, everything other than the story is exceptional. And it's surprising when you find out that, hey, this was like a mainline Disney movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't released under Buena Vista. It wasn't released under any of their side stuff. It was a Disney movie. But, yeah. And Ares looks awesome because it looks like it's going to try to tackle that question of Tron logic in real life. And, like the light bikes worked in Tron because it's ones and zeros.
Mm-hmm.
But how does a light bike work in the real world? And,
right.
We kind of get a hint at their effectiveness in the trailer. And, yeah, having a Nine Inch Nails soundtrack, like, the Tron movies, if nothing else, get us albums from acts that hadn't released albums in a very long time.
That's true.
My hope is that Nine Inch Nails will go the way of Daft Punk and release more music after this. Ideally, one of the greatest albums of that genre of all time, because that's what Daft Punk did. But
we shall see. But yeah, now jumping into, we only have a couple game news before we kind of get to the tail end here. But first and foremost, I think it's the most interesting. I know we kind of talked about it already, so I'm kind of laying on it. But Xbox basically has started pulling back some of their price increases, specifically for the Outer Worlds 2 was the big one that was going to be a set with their first $79.99. Now it's back to a $69.99 game. I do think it's interesting that like you get now a Microsoft that went over their skis, start pulling it back. Like it's a very interesting to me of I didn't like even if they're going to be like we're going to let this game fail, like I just didn't expect them to like eat it on a game that's coming out like that.
Yeah, I guess if you happen to catch one of our streams where we talked about this, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I think the problem was the industry went too far too fast.
Yeah, as I was saying before.
Right, like people were just getting comfortable with the idea of spending $70 on a game. And then Nintendo comes out and is like, hey, our games are going to be kind of different prices, but Mario Kart's going to be $90 if you buy it physical.
I totally forgot. It's a $90 game. And I am not going to lie.
$80 if you buy it digital. And everybody's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, oh yeah, and Donkey Kong's going to be $70. And I was like, okay, so you don't know what's going on. What else is new? Nintendo, modern market. They don't know what's going on. Sony was like, okay, we're good at 70. We'll stay at 70. And a lot of other people kept up with that. Microsoft, I think, saw 70 and went, well, why can't we be 80 like Mario? Like Mario Kart. And the problem was they hadn't established, like, there's no new Xbox, there's no new anything coming out. So why should they be paying more?
Right.
You know, like there was nothing that Xbox had coming that would have, in the mind of a lot of people, warranted a price increase. They're just like, it was just greed, right? And I think consumers are a lot more gun shy around company greed, right? Because certain companies are just so blatantly greedy, and like consumers can't do anything about it. So they're going to do something about it when they have the opportunity to. And yeah, I don't know who thought it was a good idea to go to 80. Like Xbox hadn't even established themselves at 70 yet.
Yeah. Because the Xbox pricing is also fake because of everything.
Yeah, because of Game Pass. And
no, but like people could discount their own, but like it is definitely like, as we have seen now, like to consumers, like that price is different there, and also like it's interesting because like the Xbox, like specifically Outer Worlds, like any game, like this is the type of game that like this one was a multi-franchise, a multi like game that was on multiple consoles, PC, wasn't going to be, and then end up is going to be again now because of obviously the change of strategy. But like to me, this is a classic game of the pricing matters here because they're selling it everywhere but Xbox is what these sales are for. Especially being a sequel that people know on these other platforms.
The other problem too is Xbox marketing right now is so bad. I genuinely think, obviously they can't do this because they need to sell games and make money. I genuinely believe Xbox needs to kind of reset their marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they've got this whole, everything's an Xbox. What does that mean? Right? Like, what does it mean that everything's an Xbox?
And if everything's an Xbox, yeah.
If everything's an Xbox, why is there an Xbox?
I keep thinking we're going to wake up one day and it's just called Microsoft Gaming, and Xbox is like a sub-brand for specific app, like hardware on it or something. Like even on the like Azure is like their cloud platform. It used to be like there's an Xbox stack on Azure. Now it actually is like a Microsoft gaming stack on Azure. Like the back-end systems, the Xbox thing is like starting to be absorbed in more and more.
Yeah, they need to figure out what they want to be, right? Like, do they want to be a third party that makes games and sells them everywhere, right? Do they want to be EA? Or do they want to be a first party, make their own system, and have exclusives? This hybrid, sorry for the joke, but this hybrid theory doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you can't do this. And I don't know why. Actually, that one you deleted, I wanted to talk about.
Oh, cool. No, if you actually have stuff to talk about, I just didn't think it.
I don't know why they wanted to go down the route they're going down.
No, I completely. I think it's one of those where we're gonna wait and see. I stick with that day they announced the 4 games coming over was the beginning of what we'll look at as the true death of Xbox. It doesn't mean we're the death of Microsoft making video games or stuff, but I think it was the start of the death of Xbox.
Yeah.
So, and then jumping into the other kind of decent news story here is So people know Roblox, one of the biggest games in the world. It's been around since we were basically kids, which is a wild thing to actually say because it would look nothing like or function like it does now. Uh, Basically, the whole shtick now with it is forever, like Roblox being a game that people can make things on. Like, there's a lot of unauthorized things people making. What's very interesting is so Roblox is now letting brands connect into basically a platform so you can make like officially like there's like Twilight and a few other like licensing things, and then basically you could rev split with the brand that owns the actual thing. It's funny because like we were talking like a few weeks ago about like like fan films and Star Wars and all that, and that's what I could think of is like Roblox found a way in contract to like make fan stuff official, which is really funny. Using their platform.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing to note is I believe it was Sega that says this. Yeah. Sega has come out and said this isn't a point in the contract, but they recommend that all fan-created content based on Sega platforms should be quote primarily reference the story, characters, and settings in the games. In the story on GameDeveloper.com, they reference the Like a Dragon series, which is where that quote comes from. I think what's interesting about that point is, does this open up Sega moderating things post them being uploaded? Or can Sega moderate before something goes live?
Yeah, and it was a really weird phrasing because like I don't know, like the Sega one that way. The Twilight one interests me also because that one had like a minimum, like you need a product to be unofficial with like a minimum monthly user count for it to become official. Like we're playing these really weird gray areas now where like the way these
think there was anything from the Twilight group. It was Sega and Netflix that.
Second, let me see what the line I'm thinking of is. There was something with like they wanted content already.
Sega will only allow Roblox creators to make use of its Like a Dragon license if they have crafted experiences that attract over 1,000 daily users.
Okay, so like it's not saying that like they're there to use. Okay, this.
And then Netflix doesn't have a restriction on active users, but it is a much lower split.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to see, now this kind of hints that, you know, maybe it's part of the 30%, but Roblox has a 70-30 split. Where 70% goes to Roblox.
So like, is this new percentage on that 30? I assume.
So the exact wordage here is the Japanese publisher is offering Roblox creators who use the license a 50% revenue share after platform fees from all Robux earned during these experiences. So is this 50% of the 30?
That's what I'm assuming. Usually when people read that, that's what it sounds like to me.
So you're only getting 15%. Netflix. Now that here's where it gets weird because the one with Netflix doesn't reference platform fees. It continues to say it's a generous offering compared to other license holders, with Netflix only granting creators a 15% revenue share. But that doesn't reference platform fees. Now, if that is 15% of the 30%, then yeah, that sucks.
Which usually, like, that would be my honest guess, just because how does, like, unless Roblox eating on their end, which I just don't believe that would be true.
Yeah. Also, I've heard that like the Roblox rev share is like a sliding scale. So
Roblox is a very funky.
Yeah.
Like there's a people don't know them. There's a great YouTube channel series of people make games. They have a great like 45-minute video on like Roblox and how it exploits kids and stuff. Like if you're curious, kind of like I don't always 100% agree with everything they do or whatever, but stories. And I think they're a good example of like understanding better how Roblox functions economically and the side effects of those economic functionings of place of this game. So
yeah, so I guess that's kind of the reason that I wanted to keep this in here was this is uncharted territory.
Oh,
right?
100%.
We haven't seen a platform like Roblox ever, but we haven't seen a platform that then allows you to license third-party content.
Right, and it's through legal methods in which the other party is signing off on. Like, it's this really weird.
So
we shall see how this all. I'm gonna keep an eye on the story. I'm actually very curious, kind of long term, if this. Also, especially as this is how we're wrapping. Especially as like UGC content grows and all that fun stuff. I am genuinely curious. We're gonna see more deals like this start popping because like what we're seeing of younger generations specifically versus older generations, but now we're seeing they play UGC type games, right? So you see obviously the rise of Roblox. You always saw the rise of Minecraft. So these things that people start making games like. This seems like a logical, like there are game studios today, I know, that are full-time, we make Fortnite games.
Yeah.
So, like, this seems like a logical step of, A, licensing, and then B, the next logical step is, at what point do we start seeing, like, Iron Galaxy or whatever, like those type of studios be like, fuck it, we're going to go make UGC stuff.
I mean, Iron Galaxy might be.
I'm sure they have a studio that, like, my thought was like, oh, we need work. Here's a good work.
Be doing that a little sooner than we think.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm thinking is like I'm gonna be very curious. Like, is this the start of trend? And because like because companies will adjust to consumer behavior, and this is a real consumer behavior we've seen over the last 10 years.
I will say this reminds me of Second Life in a lot of ways, where like Second Life was kind of encroaching on legality of usage of stuff, and then they just started licensing that stuff. Yeah, I'll be curious to see. Like, this is one that let's check back on this story every few months.
Yeah, I'm gonna like
and see
because like I think either this is gonna go nowhere or we're seeing the beginning of the next changes in this industry.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Let's end the game news with our now couple years of sad stuff. Supermassive had a massive layoff. People who made Mind's Eye, Build a Rocket, the rumors are true. They laid off about a third of the studio. Romero Games laid off the substantial, basically all of them, which was tied to Microsoft's mass Xbox layoffs that happened here at the beginning, right before 4th of July, and apparently included a bunch of third-party funding, which Romero Games seemed to be wrapped up in, and probably a few other teams that probably were tied to layoff. So obviously we are hoping for the best, but I would stick with the line I will stick with here. If you look at any studio with the names that rhymes with Ubi or Soft, I would suggest you start looking for employment, because my guess is they're going to be on this story in like a month or two. Just being honest here, based on everything we've been seeing in this industry. So we shall see. But games that are coming out the rest of this year, this should tell you how the industry is looking. Mafia: The Old Country comes out on August 8th. Gears of War Reloaded comes out on everything August 26th. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater comes out on everything on August 28th. Borderlands 4, September 12th. Silent Hill F comes to PS5 and PC by September 25th. Ghost of Yotei, as we talked about, October 2nd. Pokemon Legends Zeta A for Switch and Switch 2 comes out on October 16th. And The Outer Worlds comes out on October 29th. Obviously, we have some others floating around, like Battlefield. We know exist. We have dates yet that are official, I thought.
We are recording this 2 days before the Battlefield 6 multiplayer.
So literally, like, so my guess is, like, this comes out as we know the date. So the rumor is October 10th, I think it is. But correct, yeah. We don't actually have that in writing. So that's why it's just not on the dates here, because it's not a thing. It's like Call of Duty. We know Call of Duty is somewhere in this. We don't know exactly. Yeah, the games are existing. We just don't have them.
Yeah, the Battlefield thing's a little more legitimate because apparently it's like on a EULA.
Yeah, no, that
documents, but
I believe the Battlefield dates based on the volume we're seeing them from different sources.
yeah.
So I will actually be shocked if we come back next week and the Battlefield date is not what we thought.
As we record this, we don't know the date for Battlefield 6. Signs point to it being October 10th or 11th.
So that's why it's not formally on our list, but yes, we expect it coming out soon. And finally, fucking cinema set. The two films I found that seem to matter are Nobody 2 and Americana, but I am really fucking open if you find anything else that's coming out here. But
I mean, you don't want to talk about the Naked Gun reboot?
I guess is that actually in August?
Yeah, it's August 1st.
Do you know why? I bet you it's because it's August 1st it didn't pop on my when I was pulling the stuff. Oh yeah, Naked Gun.
Yeah, I mean we're both gonna see it, so
yeah. So we are gonna go see the Naked Gun, starring the new couple apparently of Hollywood of Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is all we got here for all of you fine folks around the world. Really, mostly in the U.S., but around the world.
Mainly North America.
Mainly North America. I think we have a few Canadians. If you speak English, is the higher chance that your country has some viewers. So yeah, thank you again for joining us. Obviously, keep an eye out for interviews for our streams, all of that fun stuff. I think our schedule is pretty normal here until we get closer to the holidays. So keep an eye out. Before we go, AJ, what are you making for dinner tonight?
I'm going over to my parents' house, so I have no idea.
That explains the time constraint. Well,
yeah.
On that lovely note, we'll see all of you next time.